Hello, welcome back to the For the Badge podcast. It is another episode. I'm excited. It's been an absolute crazy weekend in the Premier League. Lots of different things have happened. Not least of all is my man Jesse Marsh. But we will get to all that. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get the notification bell on. We got plenty more videos, plenty more episodes coming at you. And I guess there's no better place to start than where everybody's started today, where everybody's talking about today. City, man, I can't believe that Manchester City would grow their grass too long.
Man,
It's a plot.
that third of a millimeter. I mean, it's a hundred infractions, man.
That's
And
on a level with Deflategate. Like come on, this is some bad news.
well, the funny thing is, and I'll be honest. I'm a realist in this sense. If they did do something wrong, then obviously there should be a consequence. I mean, it's just weird because it's it feels a little bit like you know th- they're kind of being targeted. I mean, I get it. This is plenty of reason to not like City. I guess if you're a football traditionalist, right? Because they're not from the old guard, and they're essentially new money. And I mean, people say they don't have history, even though they had obviously won the Premier League and they won a European Cup before 2008. But it fair enough if they're not the old guard. They lack the title winning history of your United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, etc. But no, I don't think any real City fan has ever kind of been delusional to think they're better than any of those teams historically. And they were just looking at City establishing themselves as a modern team, and hence bringing in Guardiola, who helped establish the modern Barcelona group, and just try to play attractive football and be smart. Did they spend money? Yeah, but the funny thing is, I don't think this is about them spending money, because I mean, if that's the case, every team spent money. Like, and I'll avoid whataboutism for the reasons of it. If the allegations and the qualms are serious enough, then it does kind of beg the question, why now? But and again, it says the report just finished, which I find it hard for the following reason. City has already been in court. City had already faced other charges before this. So I mean, are they saying they're bringing new charges since the last charges? Because apparently the window's from '08 to 12. So was that not in the previous things they got charged with? I'm confused, and people will say oil money and they cheated and whatever. And if that's what they feel, so be it. I understand football is tribal, and I'll just leave it with the point that City played like garbage on the weekend against Spurs. They've yet to score a goal in that stadium or beat them there, and they had an opportunity to narrow the gap to 2 points, but but Arsenal would have had a game in hand. But that didn't happen. They looked disjointed, and they looked like something was on their minds, and maybe this is what was on their mind.
Yeah, I think that first of all, I think there's just a ridiculous amount of politics involved in this, and it's like trying to wade through like the marsh, the reeds. You don't even really know what's actually going on. I heard an interesting opinion that I think and you may have touched on it earlier before we started about how the government might be cracking down, might be taking more of an interest, and are no longer cool with the Premier League self-regulating financially, and I think that and this opinion I heard was about the fact that City may just be the example, the moment. but like I say, it's so twisted because apparently the investigation has been going on for however long. Uh, so it just runs in circles. So I don't really know what to think about it. But one thing I have been hearing, and I did want to ask you about, there's a number of different punishments floating around, so you'll get relegated. Oh, you're back to the championship, or you're gonna be docked 15 points, Juve style, you know, or you might be stripped of the title of all these titles and championships you've won. Now, first of all, for me, that's just dumb and pointless. But I do want to ask you, does that matter even one bit to you at all? Like, say Sergio Aguero, oh, so Gerard's got a title and Aguero doesn't. Ooh,
Well, I'll put it like this. First, you left off the best punishment possible, and that's replays, because they literally had replays as a list where they would have to replay games. That's on there. I saw it.
What?
They have replays on there, which is funny. Which I mean, I guess if they're gonna
Put
make,
Gerard back on the field with some
hey,
crutches?
hey man, whatever, they got to wheel back the old guys, to let them play. But to answer the question, even if you look across sports, outside of like individual sports where you have like a medal, a gold medal or something like that, um, I guess in Olympics, team sports, when they try to vacate stuff, that's pretending to erase history and people's memories. So you're gonna tell me 93-20 don't happen? So that just didn't happen. Like, it literally voted the greatest moment of the last decade in Premier League history, and maybe I think in football history for the last decade. So that didn't happen, and I look at that and I say, you can say whatever you want, you can take whatever, but again, how does that apply to the window? Because at this point, are they saying that they're erasing all of the history? Because the way this has come out is, first, based on the reactions, it's guilty until proven innocent by basically the fandom across the board. There's some City fans that are there, they're like, well, we're concerned. And then they actually saw what the allegations were, and it was like the grass was too long, and they're like, okay, man, this if it was something like, okay, there's funny accounting, but I mean, I just you look at these teams. These guys knew, like these oil guys. They while they might do things allegedly unscrupulously, they make sure they know where their money is. And so I look
Well,
at
yeah.
that and I say, it's if they want to vacate it, are they saying that City has been with impropriety since '08, since they purchased to now? Because otherwise, then you would have to be specific, because are you saying, because it has to be a specific time, and from what I read, it was from '08 to 12. So that means from 13 forward. So you're saying what, City would have got relegated during those years because they were bad, even though looking at the Premier League, I mean, Roberto Martinez was in there somewhere. So I'm gonna throw some shade at him. And it was, even though the shade is City lost the FA Cup final to them, which actually saved his job and got him the Everton job. But anyways, City didn't win all the games. They didn't steal anybody's transfers. Matter of fact, people made jokes about City not getting players. And so I'm not sure. I mean, I sent you guys the meme earlier showing who would have won the Premier Leagues
Mm-hmm.
in that window, and it would have been United,
Liverpool.
Liverpool,
United.
United, cool, and that was it. I think
and
Liverpool was.
so my thing is, so you just want the old guard. If all you want is the old guard to have it, then why even have these people come and invest in teams? If you just want United and Liverpool to win all the time, if that's what you want, then why even invite these people? Just say, hey, we just want your money and you can go away. Because otherwise, it's stupid. So vacating it, if while I find that very hard to believe, if that comes to it, it all it will do is fuel the fire, and that there's a corruption thing going on beyond what was happening. Because again,
Well,
it is what it is.
here's my thing about the whole FA favoring these clubs, right? And you have to see in the fandom that's been created since '08 to now. where are the new fans going? It used to be United was on par with Madrid. They were a large international fandom based club. A lot of United States people were just United fans. They inherited a lot of these regions where it was just if you're from there or if you're roundabout close to being from this country or that country, you're either going to be a Real Madrid fan, a United fan, maybe a Bayern Munich fan. And you had these clubs that popped out of Barca's in there too. You have to throw their respect, but I hate Barcelona, so I'd rather favor on the side of Madrid every day. But with that all being said, look at you walk into a Lego shop in America and you will see 4 stadiums that have partnered with American companies and build their stadiums out of Legos instead of selling it straight from the club shop. Old Trafford's one.
I've seen the Emirates Lego one.
Yeah, the Emirates is one, and it's everyone. I'm sure Chelsea will get one now because it's anyone with this American tie always got these bigger bids, and they just want to feed those clubs. And you have to look at where the fans are going. City's inherited a lot of fans. We used to joke about City not having fans. City has a lot of. They you still can't pack the Etihad, which is bad, but it's whatever. You deal with whatever you have to deal with. First things first. But you're inheriting a lot of American fans. You're inheriting a lot of international fans. Pep Guardiola's done a lot for the club in doing so, but your international performances, maybe not winning it, but being there, being top competition in the UEFA every year in, year out since you have been there. All of those make statements, and you inherit these international fans. You inherit these players that want to come to clubs. Who did the players want to come? Who did the players want to come to if they were an international player and they wanted to come to England and play? It was Liverpool. It was Man United. You didn't hear Chelsea. You didn't hear Man City. You might have heard Arsenal back in that time frame in those days. Absolutely. We had to build up to these clubs, and maybe you're right and onto something. I think that they do want the old guard because they necessarily don't want the new boys on the block with the new owners and the oil money and all of that just ruling the roost for the next 20 years. I see it. Yeah, the scarf game, baby. But it's just that I don't want to say it's conspiracy, but I think if this is the window that's really going to cause them to go to court and seek all these legalities out of it, I'm sorry, but there's a statute of limitations on this. Those players that played back then, not one of them's on that team. Those players who went after and got those trophies, not one of them's on that team. So who are you really punishing now? Like, I bet you the inner staff or, the fitness coaches and the youth academy, like, who's still there that's other than, main ownership and maybe your finance guys?
The maintenance guys, man.
Yeah, your stadium maintenance.
They're
who are you really punishing? If they broke the law that long ago, you should have caught this back in 2010, 2012 and punished them then, just like they did for us with the financial fair play, both of us actually, for buying underage players. So fine, punish us when you catch it, and if you did not catch it quick enough, that's on you. Like, close the loophole, close the rules.
Are you scared?
Am I? No, absolutely not. Because we didn't break the law. We found a hole in the law, and Bowley's been at it. Everyone said it. Everyone said, you know what? And even Chelsea people, even the finance people at Chelsea, be like, nah, we knew that was a loophole. It's y'all's job to not let those happen.
That's this time though. They're going after my man for 2008. So
no, I'm not, because how are you gonna punish Boyley for something Roman did?
Oh, so you think the FA is just like, we got Roman?
You can't. Yeah, that's it. Right.
We got Roman.
We already got Roman. How are you going to make Todd Boyley answer for that? Like, that's not what he bought. That's not anything to do with the new ownership. I think that buyout kind of gives them
make Chelsea answer, right?
I mean, they could, but I don't think any of that's going to come to light for us, because we got punished for what we did and we came forward for what we did. The only thing we really did was buy underage players and kept.
The only thing you got caught doing.
Oh, right. City got caught doing it too.
Well, Lewis made a good point earlier before we started about how, come on, man. Okay, Juventus get caught. Chelsea got caught with their hand in the jar. City have gotten caught allegedly now.
Right.
Nobody's innocent.
No.
No,
If
I
you
wanna
dig into any club, you're gonna
yeah,
find.
look at
I was
Barcelona.
about to say, how is Barcelona still a
Barca
club then?
what? Oh, it's
Messi didn't even pay taxes.
what?
Messi didn't pay. Their players are breaking the law.
Like,
Who knows what their front office is
there's
doing?
no there's no question that, there's some it's just some stuff going on that, we just don't know about, and, and that's all fine. That's all, that's nothing we can control. So as fans, yes, we want to see good outcome, and, honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I hope that this all just blows over. Like I don't want City to take a 15-point deduction and then there's a little asterisks next to our title win this season because City are now languishing on the level with Chelsea because of something dumb. They didn't grow the grass right or whatever. Like that's just ridiculous. I want to beat I want to beat you in a at your best with you right behind us breathing down our necks. Like that's
Imagine knowing that because this is not something they just found out. Imagine knowing that the grass, according to your standards, was too long, and you knew that the person had the grass too long for 20 years. And you came back to them 20 years later and said, you know what, I got this fine for you because you didn't cut the grass long enough in those years. You didn't win nothing those years, but your grass was too long. What do you look like coming back to me saying that? And then you come up with 99 other things. And it's again,
Do you think it's a witch hunt?
I mean,
Or that's just how it feels? That's how
it's
it
a smoke
feels?
screen. There's something going on we don't know. It
Mhm.
feels like a
Yeah.
smoke screen. Like
Okay.
there's something.
it
There's something.
does because it doesn't make sense. And I'll put it like this. So I'm not knocking Chelsea because I know Chelsea has a loophole, and as a matter of fact, what they call City fans reject Chelsea fans. So they do because of the money thing, right? And
Yeah.
so I don't whatever. I don't knock it. So a lot of Chelsea people can empathize and understand. They've been going after Chelsea for the longest because they were the new guard and they got them a couple of times, and Roman was just like whatever about it. And you look at it now and you say, what is the issue? And you look at United, and once they went public and they started investing money in other places, and they were doing things and making moves with the stock, but nobody has nothing to say about that, right? And Liverpool, all of a sudden Liverpool, they didn't have money. Then they sold Coutinho, and somehow his money lasted for 14,000 seasons, right?
Well, Barca never paid him. Barca still hasn't paid for the Coutinho
But
deal.
well, according
So Barca are paying for Liverpool's transfer
but
window.
everybody uses that's what that was paying for the Liverpool's things. But I guess the books are fine, right? And the thing
Yeah.
is, when Liverpool won, I have a problem. I don't have a like I study history. I taught history. I respect history. I've always respected Liverpool. Their fan base might be something. Well, not all of them, but enough of them something to
They're
desire.
questionable.
But I know some good Liverpool fans, so I'm not gonna say all of them. United, same. I got a friend that's a United fan, and even he looks at it and begs questions because they have the highest transfers, and obviously they make the money, and obviously they're across the world. But then when people see City are buying teams, the City Group is buying teams in different countries to basically create a farm system on every continent, and they're doing it different. Now people are like, hey, wait a minute. Now so when Guardiola's gone and when this person's gone, they're not going to have to go pay exorbitant fees. They'll just be able to move them within their system, which is brilliant. And it wasn't hidden from anybody to do the same thing. But now that they're doing it because they're the new money, people don't like that. And it's weird because people say, well, Liverpool didn't spend money, United didn't spend money. Since when? Like, what are you talking about? That all the traditional clubs have spent money. Like, people make jokes about
How
Bayern
much
and they don't
did
spend
they
money.
spend on? Oh wait,
And
No,
it's funny they
Manchester
make
spent some money
jokes
though.
about Bayern, right? But that Bayern doesn't spend money, but these other clubs in Germany basically give them their best players. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm not going to say anything is wrong, but there's no way in the world that you're like, hey, we got this really good player, and Bayern says, hey, we want that guy, and somehow he goes there for a free transfer for €7, and you're like, what? Don't tell me nothing's going on behind that. So if City did something that of that magnitude and it's proven, unlike the prove it guilty until proven innocent, if it's proven, then I don't have an issue. It's whatever.
What's exactly the charge? Do we know yet?
There's 100 of them.
There's 100 of them.
Okay.
But they're all really dumb. So reason we're talking about the grass is because they're literally charging them with
Okay.
grass being too long
Yeah.
for like one of the seasons. They're also saying that they underreported how much they paid Roberto Mancini.
See, I saw the underreporting for coaches, players, and staff.
Yeah, they
All
said
of that
that,
one.
yeah. There's another one that says I can pull it up. I can read some of them.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's right here. But it's all dumb. Like it's all really, really dumb. Let's see. They've been accused of not cooperating with the investigation.
Well,
Let's
and pause
see.
just a second on that one. So the thing that's really interesting about that is this is where it kind of also begs the question about the whole thing. Because if they're saying they're not participating, that means that the records that they're using in their investigation are not accurate. So what records do you have if I'm not participating with you? If you're asking me for something and I'm not giving them to you, or I've given you something and I don't go any further, then you're just purely doing it on speculation, or you're making a case for something that you want to be. And I mean, why do I have to incriminate myself so you can do whatever? Because the thing about it is even though you don't self-incriminate, that don't mean you're guilty.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the FA. I mean,
And,
they,
and,
they,
and then
This
I don't
is
have to tell you everything.
they think they're judge, jury, and executioner whenever it comes to anything like this.
Which I think is a part of the issue Jake was mentioning, because the English government is like, hey, we don't know if you should be that, which
Right.
I'm inclined to agree with.
Right. And
Well, anyway,
do you think my boy knew all this was coming on the pipe, so he was just like y'all at practice and just jump ship to right in the last day of the transfer window? He's like,
You're
oh,
talking
all y'all about to go down. I'm out. Like,
like Cancelo's, like he
yeah,
knew something was
yeah,
up.
he knew. He was like, oh, I got that phone call the other day. I'm out. Like, I'm done with this.
Or the funny thing about it is, I think that there was something going on in the locker room. Anyways, it just seems something off so far in the season. And the thing about it is that if Arsenal wasn't so good this year, and I've repeated it, and I'm going to continue to repeat it. If Arsenal wasn't so good this year, then City would be in first place.
Oh yeah.
And then this would have been a bigger deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it would have been an even bigger deal because they wouldn't have been playing good in first place.
Right.
And that would have been just something else.
Quick question. I know some speculation is this isn't going to be solved for years, or that the verdicts aren't going to come out for a good couple years. Again, statute of limitations. If it's going to take you years to get around for a verdict on some stuff that happened that long ago, like, bro, by the time you get around to this, there is no point. But all this drama and stuff, do you think I have sensed this push from media to get the fans or the people or the mass public on this train that Pep isn't going to be at Man City much longer?
Well, he's not. I mean, he has 2 more seasons. He's always made it clear that he didn't want to be there forever, and so I'm pretty sure. And that's one thing that I saw a couple of City fan like YouTube channels or whatever were saying, that once the verdict for this comes out, Pep will be long gone. Like he won't even be. And the funny thing is, Pep wouldn't even have nothing to do with it. He didn't have nothing to do with it anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the verdicts aren't going to come out, no one can do anything to you guys. You're going to continue as is. You shouldn't let this bump. I think they're trying to, honestly, it seems like a ploy to kind of get you knocked off your shoulder a little bit, so the chase isn't like. If you're under the impression that you might get points ripped out from underneath you, how hard are you really going to play on Sunday?
Well, I think the reason is for the cloud. You have the cloud over them where now teams are like, well, it doesn't matter if we lose to them because, it might not count anyways. But then you also, and I mentioned this in the chat, I really think, and I'm being honest, and you mentioned about Roman, I think they want the owners to sell the team, man. I think they don't want those owners in the league, which is strange because Newcastle just got purchased by
got bought out by the Princes. They were like actual royalty.
and United and Liverpool may get purchased by Middle Eastern investors as well. So I'm just not following. So it has to be personal where they don't like them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the smoke screen. There's just something that we don't really know about it, and so we'll go ahead and we'll go on to move on to what we're really here for.
There we go.
Speaking of Pep, do you think Pep got it wrong versus Tottenham?
Yes.
They look so uninspired, man. It just
Yes.
it was weird. Like I mean, I watched the whole game and I mean I didn't mind the setup. I thought the setup was okay, but then you saw
Even no KDB?
well, and again, I wasn't bothered by it because I'm like, okay, they were trying to overload the midfield. Like that's what it looked like they were trying to do. I mean, it was no space, so I thought, okay, maybe you would have like Grealish would play out wide, or I just thought they were going to have width because of the way they would attack, and it was just weird because so they had Rico Lewis playing in front of Kyle Walker, and he didn't work there because he was in the way, and then I mean, I think I said this in the chat, man. Hey, man, I understand Jack Grealish works hard. I'm never going to question that. He's clearly a world-class footballer, but I don't know why he was on the field that long. Like, he just was getting fouled and holding the ball, man. And I mean, sure, you didn't have people going around, but he didn't create nothing. Like, he didn't create anything.
Lost.
Like,
Yeah.
there. And it's funny because I read, it said De Bruyne came on, and he created 8 chances when he came on. 8. Because literally, like, Holland didn't do anything with the ball. I'm like, how do you have that guy? He don't touch the ball at all in anything. It was really sad because it looked like they didn't know what they wanted to do. They just thought that they were going to run out there and just play well. And the thing about it is I'm glad Pep owned it. The mistake that was made that led to the Tottenham goal was the mistake they made the game before. It was the exact same mistake. Yep. And so, I mean, truthfully, if they don't make the mistake, does that go down as a 0-0? I think it does, and which is still disappointing because I'm not knocking the Spurs, but they're not good like that.
No.
And
I think this saved Conte's job.
Yeah, well, even though aren't Spurs in 5th, if I'm mistaken?
Spurs are in 5th. Yeah, Conte's not on that much of a hot seat. I don't think so.
I think if Spurs don't qualify for champs,
dude, he's gone anyway. He's not worried about it. He's not worried about it because he's gone at the end of the season anyway.
He's leaving anyway.
Yeah, he don't care. It's over.
But it did. My biggest thing is to your point, Lewis. I hated how this one went down for you guys because it made Harry Kane look like a hero.
He's the all-time Spurs leading scorer.
It did, but yeah, it made him look like a hero. It gave him the goal.
Community shields. They don't count community shields.
Oh, okay. I know he's only 8 behind Rooney and like 26 behind.
Since Tottenham haven't won a league or a FA Cup anytime recently, they have not been in a community shield.
I mean, he's only 8 behind Rooney for all-time goal scorer in the Premier League.
Yeah, I understand Kane is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, and this may sound crass or petty coming from an Arsenal fan, but Kane is nowhere near the player Wayne Rooney was.
No, he's not.
He's nowhere near the champion that Wayne was.
No. I would put him on par with goal scoring ability, but he's not a champion.
No.
That's a difference. It's a difference mentality. It's a different mentality going into the player.
He can compete goal scoring ability.
He's gonna surpass.
When Kane scores a bicycle kick versus Arsenal to win the at Arsenal.
Harry Kane, man.
Yeah, then we'll talk about
I mean, he's gonna surpass Rooney.
Rooney's arguably the best Premier League player ever. Like I was decently surprised that he was not voted that over Henry, to be honest with you.
No, who has more goals than Rooney? He's not the top. It's
Shearer, Alan Shearer.
Yep.
He's got like 60 more goals. It's like a 50 goal gap.
Yeah, it's like 256 or something like that. Yeah.
Something dumb.
Well, the funny thing about Rooney is Rooney was able to do it in a side that he really wasn't the guy, not for a while, which makes it impressive for what he did. Whereas Kane has been and is the guy where he is. Well, and that's what I'm not knocking him because I still think Kane has plenty more years of goal scoring in him. So he might get close to Shearer, but
He won't win the title. He won't touch the titles.
No,
No,
yeah.
no, he won't ever.
Even
But
if he
I
moves.
just hated how this played out because it just made him look like the hero. I hated
But
that moment.
that's because there's a rumor that
Hated it.
Man United is going to go for him, which I'm not going to I'm never.
Of course, Harry Kane goes to
It's Van
United.
Persie 2.0.
He
But
goes to
but
United and then
he would
beats Rooney's
work there.
record, and the jersey sales just fly off the shelf.
He would work
Oh my God, here it is. No, you called it.
there. But
You
he
got it.
absolutely would work there, though.
There. He totally would. He totally
You got
would.
it.
But the goal wasn't even like as soon as Højbjerg passes the ball to him, I'm like, okay, he's gonna score. But then it was a real kind of a lackluster. It's not his best goal. We'll put it that way.
No,
You know,
it just made
but
it. It's just in the moment that it caused, when it came in the game, hit what goal it is for him. It just made him a hero, and I hated the moment. I hated that moment in this game.
I mean, it's really a huge. This is like a huge for me. It's a huge letdown for City. Not starting De Bruyne was. I don't like.
Well, and the verdict, even with that, is De Bruyne hasn't been his best self either. He's looked out of sorts. But I mean, clearly he's better, which is still a fault of the team. He still looks better than the other guys because you have to start asking questions like they said Foden was sick, but like there was no creativity in the midfield whatsoever. None.
It's because Bernardo Silva relies on having De Bruyne in there with him.
Rodri is not. You're right.
Rico Lewis doesn't support Silva like De Bruyne does. And the reason I say De Bruyne and Rico Lewis is because while Bernardo Silva does drop back deep sometimes, when Kevin De Bruyne drop backs deep to get the ball, he immediately looks forward and pushes forward and drives it forward. Silva is less likely to do that. And
He's a dribbler.
I thought that's something that y'all really lack. And that's why I kind of am highlighting how much you missed De Bruyne, and I don't think that y'all. I don't know. Like it's kind of weird. I definitely think there's some kind of mentality thing going on because City had 15 shots. Like you still created a ton of chances.
Do you think the Stones or a Kanji combo played a? I mean, I know Stones getting injured is a huge blow, but do you think Akanji is?
He had a good game.
I'm not worried about City.
He had a great game.
I expect because the way they play, you do expect teams because they press City. You expect teams to get a goal here and there, and because Ederson makes mistakes. The issue that City is having is going forward because there's like no creativity. We don't have true wingers, so we don't have pace out wide, so we can't do anything there. Like we're missing Sterling and Sane and players like that. I mean, Mahrez has been good, but I mean, if you only have to like basically watch one side and he's not truly faster than anybody, and he holds the ball a really long time.
Right.
It's kind of predictable what he's going to do, so you can defend against that.
Right.
The issue is Foden being out and out of form causes a problem, and because he's creative. Like if you remember early season, Foden was the one passing the ball to Haaland all the time,
Feeding
and
him.
he hasn't been in the team.
Yeah.
And since the World Cup, we don't know what's happened. And this is where the World Cup again plays a huge issue because it really changed the form and the mentality of a lot of the guys who were gone. And so those teams who got their guys back faster, you can see where there's a difference. But, I'm not going to take anything from Spurs. They did what they were supposed to do, and they won the game. City looked bad, and just the guys just looked disjointed. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe this was Pep knew about something going on, and this is why his decision making has been quirky like this, and why they didn't really touch the transfer window this year because they knew that stuff was going on. And it's just weird because it makes it hard. And the thing is that people are like, well, maybe don't worry about the league. Try to do Champions League. Are you serious? Are you serious? If you don't got any kind of form going, you think the Champions League, which happens every 2 weeks, and then you got a break, and then every 2 weeks, how the hell do you get form like that? Like that's silly, man. So I don't really know. I'm gonna give Spurs credit for winning the game because they did. City can't score there, which that's the bugaboo that's all over their head, and you just hope they figure out something in the next game so they can have some form to maybe play a solid game against Arsenal, because I really don't know what's going to happen now. It really, and the funny thing is, it's taken a lot of the luster off that Arsenal game now, because a lot of people were looking forward to that, and now Arsenal won the game anyways. But if Arsenal win the game and City look disjointed, like, the Arsenal fans and the people won't really give Arsenal full credit on that. They'll be like, well, this thing is going on, and if City wins, then you're like, well, but it may not count. So it's literally taken the juice out of what was going to be not only a great fixture for the league, but I mean, think about how many eyes were going to be on that game, man.
Right.
If this doesn't come out. So It's just weird, man. It's they really are cutting their nose to spite their face, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that it's kind of if this is some kind of desperate knee-jerk move from the FA to kind of smokescreen something else that's going on, or because the English government's coming for them or something. But yeah, I agree that it's damaging for the it's not a good look for the league as a whole.
Right.
And with City being in this funk and now having all this
drama
going on, it
Yep.
definitely they're not the formidable. They still are on the field, but I think that's taken a back seat. They're not this giant that needs to be toppled. It's just weird. It just feels really, really weird. And I think that if anybody can kind of pull their heads in and and figure it out, it's Pep. And so y'all have Villa at home next weekend, and then 3 days.
Well, that's a traditional team, so I guess they got to lose to them too to make everything square, right?
Yeah. Well, let's not forget that last time y'all played Villa, you should have lost.
Yeah, but we won the league on it, so it's okay.
No. I'm talking about this season.
Earlier this season.
When you played Aston Villa, you
Yeah.
should have lost, but VAR is a shambles. So, we don't need to. I guess it was made up for when they stole the derby from you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess,
always
that evens out. As Wenger says, it always evens out or whatever. But we'll move on to another quite sensational headline from Sunday. Nottingham Forest, not Jesse Marsh out.
Getting him the axe. Nottingham's on a resurgence right now, man.
I'm so sad. The Leeds United States of America. Just cut down.
Just cut at the knees.
Just cut right at the knees. We lost. We lost a good soldier today, guys. No, I definitely figured this was coming. They haven't won in like 8 games or something crazy like that.
They're shambles.
They are down there at the bottom, man.
They're in the relegation battle now. Yeah, only 3 points off of Southampton.
Man, did y'all watch this? I definitely watched this game. It was sad.
We needed a win.
Patrick Bamford is not good enough. He's one of those forwards that was fantastic in the championship, and he helped their run to get back into the league a couple seasons back. He plays for
Chelsea, right?
Patrick Bamford is for Leeds. He plays for Leeds.
No, but he played. Didn't he play for Chelsea before?
Did he?
I swear he played for Chelsea. Yeah, he did. He was. Yeah, man. I swear he was on Chelsea because I remember playing with him on FIFA.
He's not great.
He was at Chelsea in 2012. He was at Chelsea. 2013, and then 2014.
There you go.
And 2015. God dang. Okay, and 16 and 17. Jesus Christ.
How long?
He didn't play much.
No, he was loaned. He was loaned every year.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There it is. That sounds like that era of Chelsea. You know what? We're gonna buy him. Loan.
Loan him and just leave him.
Buy him. Loan.
Rodrigo went down with like a 6-game injury or something, like a month and a half injury or something, and that is just horrifying news for Leeds because they're at Old Trafford on Wednesday. So managerless, forwardless. They've got a bum in a t-shirt playing up top. I wouldn't start him if it were me. Sinistera's back. I would maybe run him down the middle and play some. I don't know what they're gonna do. Weston McKennie come on and didn't really make the Stars and Stripes look better at all. But
Well, I'll say for this one, there'll be no new manager bounce for the next Leeds game.
No, they're gonna get smashed. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it, but it is what it is. But credit to Forest, like you said, X man, they had a
resurgence.
It's like Chelsea Light, or it's like Chelsea Junior over there. They just bought a bunch of randoms, bought 30 players.
Throw them on. Now they're not getting relegated. Yeah.
But hey, no, their transfer window was quite shrewd, I thought, and pays off immediately. Here you go. But I mean, Forest at home are just you didn't expect them to do anything, and then here they are, just another win.
Haven't lost in the last 5. Yeah.
Yeah. But they played Fulham, so I don't know about that next one.
We should have beat Fulham. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, we will. We'll get there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, buddy. We'll get there. We'll get to that.
You know, Leeds literally play United back to back.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's a makeup game. It's the Queen
game on the 8th and the 12th. That's awful.
Ouch.
They play Wednesday. We're gonna do a prediction at the end of this conversation.
That's a 6-point swing for United. That hurts.
I'm gonna go ahead and give United that win, and they're gonna win 3-0. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark me down.
You can. We're gonna skip right to the prediction. Sure. United. What do you got?
I got at least a 3-0 to United. I'll say 2-0. I'll go different, but I'll say 2-0.
2-0.
Both times. I'll just put it in for both games. 2-0 United.
You know what? Forgive me. I am gonna go to because I forgot the greatest holding midfielder be in the game because the universe was cheating and trying to make United human.
Well, we'll get to that too. I can't wait.
Yeah, how does Luis Suarez catch a ban for vampiring, but I can't anyway. You can't stone cold stun of somebody on the field there, my guy.
It's gonna be bad. I think I'm gonna give him the 3, even without Casemiro. Well, I don't know. It is my man. I mean, Tyler Adams just hasn't been good since the World Cup. Sorry, buddy. 3-0. 3-0 United. Yep, that's happening.
Sending it in.
I think that is a fantastic moment to go ahead and we'll take a look at your predictions table.
It's not good. Jeez.
It's not what you want to see.
I'm looking like Chelsea over here. Oh my God.
Patrick's response was, "Oh, there's a lot of games left in the season."
Patrick, you are gone, my guy.
Yeah,
11 points. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. He's well clear at the top of the table.
Points clear of me. I'm not making that up anytime.
He seems to get points in every single prediction.
At least something. Yeah, he's taking away
at least something. But yeah, like I say, credit to Steve Cooper, credit to Nottingham Forest. I think they've made some good. The goal was fantastic, to be honest with you. Leeds don't clear it because they can't defend very well. So it was just a poor clearance, and my man smashes it. It was a great thunderbolt of a goal. We all love a Zapdos thunderbolt, right, X?
Yes, yeah, I love the ice beam.
Yeah. So, quick question. Jesse Marsh for U.S. national team?
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds pretty good, though.
He already knows at least 3 of them.
That sounds pretty good. I mean, I don't know if the politics will allow for it, but yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, let's go in reverse order. We'll go ahead and get in some of these other results. West Ham go to Newcastle. What a great draw for West Ham.
Yeah,
man. Boy, the Hammers.
After the first 15 minutes of this, I thought this could be 4-0. But
coming up big.
West Ham somehow got it back under control at St. James's too. Fair play.
That was pretty shocking, man.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it was the rain. Yeah, I'm not sure. That Newcastle rain, but it was a good performance from West Ham. David Moyes quietly somehow still saving his job. Good for him. I don't know though. West Ham, I think, are going to struggle based on this performance. I'm happy to see Newcastle continuing to draw. Their goal drought is a bit curious, but maybe they've got their heads on a different. They got a trophy coming up they're going for, so I don't know if maybe that's
Yeah.
it's a bit.
Yeah, a little distracting.
But yeah, fair play to West Ham.
Yeah, man. They needed that point though.
Yeah.
Oh
We're
yeah,
a bit lucky to pick it up,
bad,
but yeah,
man. At the bottom.
I felt like they were about a bit lucky to pick that up, but yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Speaking of never lucky, old Liverpool just plodding along through that mud.
Just
You
they're
love
in
to
it.
see it. You love to see it. What?
They
A
they took
absolute
it to
shambles.
one of the worst teams in the league this year.
Did you watch these? I got to watch these highlights. I watched these highlights a couple times
I
just
watched
to have a
quick
chuckle at the
recap.
old goal.
Oh man.
Bad man.
It
They
was
what was the guy? Is it Skirtle who was their awful center half? I think it was Skirtle.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
need they
2
they
seconds.
bring back all their bad players for to just match the form because I don't know what they're doing, man. It's weird because I thought they had the greatest fullbacks in the world and the greatest midfield and strike attack.
Well,
I
I mean, they are a completely different team without Virgil
and Mane.
and Mane. I think, and then that boils it down to me. It boils it down to a leadership problem. I think they are lacking leadership on that team because with Van Dijk not being on the field, obviously his voice it's prominent, but it's not as big. And then with losing Mane, again, you're losing leadership on that team. And these guys are young. Nunez is a baby. Gakpo's young. He's not a leader. Salah's not a leader. He's good at what he does, but he's a baby.
But what about Henderson? But Henderson's supposed to be the greatest English footballer out there, right? And
He's just what it is they pressed and they pressed and they pressed and they pressed and they were in your face and in your face for like 5 seasons straight. They don't got the legs anymore. And it's the same guys. It's all the same people. I hear you, Flynn. It's all the same people. So it's Fabinho can't run like that no more. Hendo can't run like that no more. Salah, obviously, we're seeing it, is on the wane. People are injured all over the place. Van Dijk's, racking up the injuries now.
Backing up the injury list now.
This late on in his career, like, maybe, and I just, but still, even the injury, like, I'm at a loss. Just like Jurgen Klopp. Klopp didn't even know what to say anymore, because it's like, good grief. This is astonishing. Like, this is not the same team that Arsenal couldn't score against for like 6, 7 straight
This is
games.
the same team that took us to 3 different finals for PKs. This is not the same team.
Yeah, a year ago they're about to. Last season they're going to win the quadruple like no one's ever done before, and now we're losing 3-0 to Wolves.
Wolves.
Way to Wolves.
Sans Diego Costa as well.
It's a moment, man. This is why I have appreciation for what Arsenal's doing because you got to seize that moment, man. It may never come again, so you better get it while it's there.
Yeah, man. But hey, again, credit to Wolves. They're another team who quietly had a very good transfer window. I think the pickup of Craig Dawson is going to be really good for them in the defense. He even scored a goal here on his debut. That's definitely a good pickup. But yeah, I think again, obviously Ruben Neves is like their heart and soul of that team. So fair play. I think, like I say, I think before Lopetegui, I would have said Wolves are definitely going down. But since he's come in, they've been vastly improved. And yeah, like you say, Lewis, they took the moment. Liverpool were a shambles, and so Wolves took the moment, just like Chelsea couldn't do a couple weeks back. All right, next up is everybody's favorite center midfielder getting sent off in the WWE.
Sometimes you got to choke a person.
The WWE Saturday morning brawl down at the Old Trafford. Sometimes you just gotta choke Will Hughes out.
Sometimes you
got to. You
I'm just
know.
mad they won the game.
Hey, Bruno Fernandes gets another goal. Just a glorious goal. It's a penalty.
greatest number 10 in the world.
It was a penalty.
It's a penalty.
I hate the way he takes penalties too, just so you know.
You hate a lot of PK takers.
That's because it's ridiculous to run and then hop like a bunny rabbit and pick the ball. It's ridiculous. And
Hey,
if
y'all bought it.
Jorginho ever
Y'all
gets
bought
on
him.
a
It's
penalty,
y'all's problem.
if Jorginho ever gets on a penalty at Arsenal, I'm gonna cry. You know, so but hey, fair credit to Marcus Rashford.
Agent Georgie.
Yeah.
Huh?
Agent Georgie.
Fair credit to Rashford, who scored for the 19th game running or something crazy like that.
In form. He got player of the month, I think.
Oh, he's killing it. But it's Palace just letting us down again. I thought they were going to do it. I actually watched the last 20 minutes. I actually hopped from game to game during this 10 o'clock window. The Brighton Bournemouth wasn't doing it. And so I hopped to so I watched a little bit of Villa Leicester when it was 2-2. And then I watched the end of the United Palace game, and I thought Palace could have got there in the end. After the red card, obviously they were in the ascendancy, and I just feel bad for Patrick Vieira because Palace just constantly letting people down. I don't think Zaha was in this one, you know, but they definitely upped the pressure in the end, and I was hoping, but they couldn't get it over. They couldn't get it over the line. And Old Trafford's still a ridiculous place to go this season.
And that's because they are returning to their greatness, and that they were bound and destined by the universe to be Manchester United and have them in the top 2 or 3, maybe even going for Arsenal in the next couple of weeks, because that's how it's supposed to be.
Well, you know they're back in the title race now.
Oh, they
Yeah,
absolutely are.
They were in it for 3 days, and then they're out of it, and now they're back in it. Yeah.
The goal from Crystal Palace is absolutely dirty.
Oh yeah.
That is dirty. That
Yeah.
flick off that is dirty.
That's
He just
dirty.
outside the foot just clacks it.
Yeah.
Perfect top 90 on the outside curl. That's beautiful. That's pretty. That's a good goal.
Speaking of somebody scoring good goals, and who
That's
I'm
a good
sure the Japanese are thinking is absolutely beautiful, my man Matoma down in Brighton is just crushing it. He's just having a run, a Marcus Rashford run, just like Rashford. And he's scored in like 19 straight games now, or something like that.
Yeah.
Matoma got a goal. I think he got at least one goal in the World Cup, and now he's come back. He's lighting it up for Brighton. I gave this one up. Like I said,
shot.
I
Holy
turned this
cow.
off. I gave this game off. I gave this game up. Wrote it off. You know, and Brighton, man. Brighton are going to challenge. Brighton are filling in the vacuum that Chelsea and Liverpool are leaving. You know, the hole they're leaving in the table, and Brighton are like, thank you very much.
Gobbling it up. Yep.
Yeah, they're doing great. Also,
Yes, they don't have Graham Potter anymore. Of course they're doing great.
I figured you'd get that in there. But also another team right in the same slot. Brentford just blasts Southampton. Just blew them away.
You know, I was shocked.
It is Southampton.
I was really shocked Tony didn't score, though. I'm very sad because I bet he bet on himself.
Yeah, he always does. I figured he would always.
But he always does. Yeah, he's a Floyd Mayweather.
Did he get himself an assist? That's the question. He may have bet that he was going to get an assist.
No, according to the stats, he did.
No,
They didn't give him an assist.
Lame.
Lame.
Yeah. Wow. Fair play to the Bees, man. Taking care of business at home. That's who Arsenal play next is Brentford, and that one.
Ooh, the Bees.
Bees, man, not the Bees.
That doesn't matter. You know Arsenal's gonna win.
Yeah, they're gonna smash the
Ivan Toney.
bottom of the table.
I don't know. Brentford?
No, not Brentford. Bournemouth. I was saying.
You're saying,
Or
yeah.
sorry, Southampton and Bournemouth are both. Sorry, Southampton's bottom of the table. Of course, last 3-0.
But yeah, no, we're not looking past Brentford. They're strong. They're a good team. And on our weekly segment of how does Brendan Rodgers have a job, this week he's figured it out somehow. This new dude, Tete, was good. I watched this game for like 20 minutes. He's good. He's a good pickup for Leicester. Definitely improves their side, which isn't hard to do, granted. But
Well,
and
the
Ian
greatest.
has come back and's been playing good as well. So
You can't leave out the greatest English midfielder. So, come on.
don't even. That's not
Come on.
like.
Come on, the greatest English midfielder catches a beautiful goal.
Oh yeah, he gets yeah, just
Well, I mean,
glorious James Madison goal.
Glorious James Madison goal.
Yes, let's all bow down. You can't. It doesn't
Bow down.
It doesn't get any better than James Madison. It's a crime that he didn't play in the World Cup. An absolute travesty.
well, I'm gonna throw some credits to Kelechi Iheanacho because Manchester City, man, got 2 assists in the goal. I'm gonna be on him.
He was a beast. Man of the match for me for sure. Sutar comes into Villa in his debut, gets an own goal. That's good. That's what you want.
Of course.
Definitely what you want. But speaking of debuts, man, talk about the new manager bounce. This one.
I didn't see this one coming, man.
This one might have been in the stars though, just from the whole new manager thing. But when I really looked at this game, I've heard a lot of analysis on this, and I disagree with most of it. A lot of people are like, oh, Arsenal were bad, and Arsenal didn't do this, and Arsenal didn't do that, and they were, they weren't themselves or whatever. And I disagree completely. If we could finish in this game, like if we were sharp in front of goal in this game, we win 4-1. So Eddie has a point blank shot that from to the side that he was aiming for the upper corner, but instead hits it into row C. Trossard had one that he tried to curl and puts it into row C. Odegaard has one lined up on a platter that he comes in bread and butter style and puts it in row C. I think there was like a Spurs fan sitting in row C that they were all just
kept egging him on, just trying
to shoot it at this guy the whole time because they're like, he was making fun of him during the warm up or something. So we had at least 3 gilt-edged chances that on another day that we put away. And you're not hearing this, oh, Arsenal were sloppy in the midfield, and this is Arsenal's worst game of the season, and they had an off day. And no, I thought we created well. I thought we broke through the lines well. I thought we were able to deal with their press for the most part, and it was an energetic, physical press. I thought that Everton definitely. I'm not gonna say like they deserve to win, but I don't think that I don't think they deserve to not win. You know what I mean? I think a draw would have definitely been a fair result. But the one thing that I think they did really well that we didn't do, and I will admit, they were winning all the second balls. They were playing, a very Sean Dyche style. We knew what was coming. It's Burnley 101. From last season, and they won the second balls. Calvert-Lewin had a good game, and they played stout defensively. And look, 7-8 games in, this was the best defense in the league, if I recall statistically.
right.
So the pieces are still there, and who knows? Maybe they just didn't. Maybe they just didn't like Lampard. I won't go there, but. Do have to say that Dwight McNeil and Alex Iwobi on the wings had fantastic games. And not because they were great going forward, but because anytime Saka Martinelli got the ball, it was a double immediately. Anytime it was a double immediately. And every time Saka was able to play through it or run past them before McNeil got there, we were dangerous. But if McNeil gets in front of him before Saka gets going, he couldn't get past both of them at any point, and so I definitely thought that Everton played well, but we should have won this game. Like,
That's only like your third set piece goal of this season too. Y'all haven't let too many set pieces in.
yeah, it's not. It's that the defending on corners was shaky at best. But James Tarkowski is a head taller than Martin Odegaard. That's what happened. Why
Yeah,
is Martin Odegaard marking their center back?
Right.
That's where the breakdown comes. Like you can't fault Martin Odegaard for getting out fought by somebody that's 50 pounds
Twice his size. Yeah. And a head taller.
Like that's gonna happen. Where's Willie Saliba?
Right.
Where's Gabrielle? Where's Ben White?
Right.
Where are our center backs? So that's just the mismatch that happened there, and we'll have to look at that in training. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll get that straightened out. And I'm not too worried about it as far as, and obviously we'd be having a different conversation if City won 3-0 at the one, in at Tottenham. I'd be much less jovial about this because it would be way more damaging. But I think because it's not, and we can look at this and say, it's not as far as mentality and as far as our season and as far as how we're playing, I don't think it's going to be something. I don't think we're going to have a hangover from it. I think we'll come back on Saturday and at home and bring it to Brentford. So I don't think it's going to be too damaging in the long run. It's just what's going on at City. I think, like you said, Lewis, it's kind of like, how are Arsenal going to approach the game? You'd think that we want to just come in and curb stomp them, just be like, no mercy, But it's like, are we going to be? I don't know. It's just a really weird situation, and I feel like there's a world where we're like, oh, they're not going to be at it, so we're not going to be at it, and it's just going to be a whole mess. It's just going to be a complete mess, and I really hope not.
So I have a question for you actually.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the substitutions right there in the right after the half?
I'm glad you brought up the substitutions.
Georgie for Partey and Martinelli for Trossard.
No, those weren't the ones I had an issue with. Sean Dyche won the manager battle for sure, the in-game manager battle, and I knew that Jorginho coming in. That's why I was excited about the signing. Jorginho come in. We didn't really drop that much in that area of the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would have if say Lukonga, were still here.
Right.
So when Georgie come on, I thought he was fine. I thought he did just fine. Trossard definitely gave us a bit more going, something different. He's kind of a different player, bit more of a technical, possessive kind of draw the guy in and run past you, where Martinelli's just gonna run past you.
I'm just gonna run past you, right? Yeah.
And so I thought that was good. The substitution that lost us the game, that killed the game, that legitimately killed the game with 15 minutes to go, was Odegaard for Vieira.
Yep. I knew that was gonna be the one that you had a problem with.
How do you pull your best player, your captain, your leader? He's even our leader.
When you're down.
He's even
out when you're down.
I got most goals, when we're down a goal with 12 minutes away from home, you pull him off for a stuffed shirt. I am better than Fabio Vieira. This is ridiculous. I'm over it. I'm so at it with this. Like Mikel Arteta, I trust him. I'm behind him. I definitely back him, and I hope he's here for a long time. But he's got this one wrong. It just is what it is. We signed Nicolas Pepe. He got a bum. He gets stuff wrong. It happens.
Yeah.
He's got this. He's got Fabio Vieira all wrong. He's not good enough to be in this team. And flipping Smith Rowe, again has gotten another setback or whatever.
He's just too fragile.
Makes me want to scream. It makes me
Too
want
fragile.
to scream.
That sucks.
So good, and
He is
that's
good.
where we need him. That's where we need him. Is right where Vieira just we did nothing in the last 14 minutes of the game.
Right.
We did nothing because Vieira is not good enough at
No.
all. He just is. He doesn't move forward. He doesn't break through the lines like Odegaard does. He offers us nothing. And Saka couldn't do anything against the double team because Vieira wasn't helping him out. I was sitting on the couch, hands like this, going, well, there it goes. We
There-
lost. Just
I've
shaking
been
my
there.
head 10 straight
I've
minutes. This is
I've been there hard. Yep.
So who would you? I mean, they didn't have anybody else. Would you just kept Odegaard in the game?
Of course.
Yes.
But I mean,
Yeah.
so what do you
Yes.
think the rationale was to take him off then?
Because he was tired. Because he was working. He worked his ass off. He absolutely gave it all, everything. So I get that he was tired, But
So what do you do? Like as a manager, what do you do on that one? Because I mean, you already know that you're having kind of horrible luck with injuries, and I mean, let's be honest. If he goes down, what happens to your season?
I would cry.
I mean, if this, that, I mean,
I would shed tears. I would shed real tears if Odegaard got injured.
in the
Because
long
I
game,
know who's coming in. Because I know who's coming in, and I know how impotent we will become.
so does that make the substitution bad? Because in the long game, I mean, he's still there.
Well, it lost us the game.
It causes the gap
I
to
won't.
not grow.
I won't say it lost us the game. It did not give us a chance to win the game. It cost us our chance to win the game. So, because Vieira's just not gonna. He's just not gonna create the magic, the moment. He doesn't have the vision. He just needs another loan spell. I think he's too young. I don't know what it is, but yeah. To answer your question, I don't know. It's tough.
Because I mean, if I'm looking at it, even if I know City's behind me, and I know I need Odegaard later, I mean, you're not necessarily giving up the game, but I mean, I would take the crapshoot to make sure I got my guy though.
Yeah, I get that. I think. Yeah, we didn't really have. You're right. We
There was
didn't.
all defenders on the bench. There was nobody else, and
There's nobody else
academy.
on the
Literally
bench.
anybody else.
Tierney's not playing that spot. Holding's not playing that spot. You already got Jorginho and Trossard in the game who possibly could play that spot. Matt Turner's not going to play that spot.
You know how desperate I am. And this will never happen. Arteta clearly backs Vieira, but I'm so desperate that I would FIFA style. I would. Here's what you do. Here's what you have to do. If you're going to take Odegaard off, if you're set on making sure he doesn't get injured at the end of this game, Zinchenko plays center mid and Tierney plays the back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do it.
I mean, there's an answer. Obviously, there's an answer.
Push Xhaka into center attacking mid. Put Zinchenko in the 8. Have Trossard just push Xhaka. Right. Yeah, and then you're good. Yeah. He doesn't have to play the cam, but he obviously can play the center attacking mid. The way he passes the ball, the way he looks for those passes, Zinchenko. So I wouldn't hate it. I would honestly much prefer it to Fabio Vieira being in there. To be honest with you, so if I were playing FIFA with this squad in this game, that's what I would have done. I would never have. Vieira would not have come on for me. He would not be on the squad if this were FIFA.
Yeah, but so, you think about it, an outsider or a watcher would think you're kind of playing negative because you're you would put another defender on, and because people don't necessarily think they've literally accepted that Zinchenko was a defender. I mean, is he a left back? Okay, maybe, but I mean, he's really a midfielder,
Not on our team. He doesn't receive plaudits for defensive work in our team.
No, but I'm just saying, as people look at it, if you put on a defender instead of a forward player, then people would have looked at Arteta like he was playing negatively. And I mean,
Right.
it feels like that he there was nothing he could do to win. So his long game, if I'm looking at it, obviously post mortem, is, hey man, I got to make sure my guy Odegaard is here for the next few games. So let me not like blow on a game that, I mean, what Arsenal had been down for how long? How much? A couple of minutes since since then, because Odegaard came off at 77 and Everton scored at 60. So it's about 20 minutes. And that means he was probably busting his butt for those 20 minutes.
He was.
And so you're like, okay, we didn't get anything out of that. Do I want him to hump it all for this Everton game? Or do I need him for the next ones? And I'm not saying, you give up, but you say, well, let me try somebody else. Because, I mean, you still, even then, what Arsenal was they were still 5 points clear at that time. And it's still a game in hand. So, I mean, if you're doing the math, maybe you get the young guy some reps and he gets better, even though Jake wouldn't have done it. But I understand.
Right.
No, I mean, here's my reasoning. And again, this took place before the City game. Like you just can't expect that. You can't base any decision. Every decision you make has to be with the assumption that City has won 3-0 this weekend. Because they have the potential to win every game for the rest of the season. I don't care what funk you're in. I don't care what bullshit's going on behind the scenes. They have the potential to win every game for the rest of the season, and we cannot forget that. We cannot forget that. And so, yeah, I understand that this is a very kind of intricate decision to make in game while the time is literally slipping away from you, and you have this kind of pressure to make this kind of a call. So I understand. I understand, being on maybe he might do it for us. And because we have that maybe, I'm going to pull Martin and rest him and make sure he doesn't get injured. But so I get it. I understand it. And as much as I don't want to admit it, Vieira he's going to be a part of the team. You can tell when Arteta backs somebody, so even when I have my fears that even when Smith Rowe gets healthy,
second fiddle.
No, that Smith Rowe won't even play in the center attacking mid. He's gonna be back up to Saka.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll play second fiddle to somebody.
Well, yeah, that's what. But my point is, he won't play center attacking mid, and therefore will not displace Fabio Vieira in the behind Odegaard role. My point is, he'll be playing winger. He won't even play. Arteta won't even play him in that position, because technically, if you look at our squad, especially we just sent Marquinhos out on loan, Smith Rowe is the backup for our winger position, so which makes me sad because he's very good controlling games, running games, slotting into the middle and being the center attacking midfield role, playing that number 10 role, which is why he wears the number 10 shirt on our team. But like I say, I'm not too worried about this loss. Bit of a blip. And I think we'll be back at it for Brentford. Yeah. But speaking of someone, I guess we're all hoping is back at it. The Friday game. What do you say, man? What you think? I had to go back and watch the highlights again.
We lack.
I didn't remember what had happened.
Havertz cannot play into the 9. It's just, I don't know why we keep plugging away at this. I don't know why. Like, we have the replacements now. I don't know why we're plugging away at this. Every ball that went to Havertz should have went to Mud Dog. Send that to Mud Dog.
But did you hear what Potter said about Mud Dog?
Yeah.
Hooked because he was crap too.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know what I don't think again, there's more rumors now that Potter is in a more of a hot seat now than there were 6 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever I was like, no, we need to call it now because
you're excited about that.
I am, but I'm also like, again, it just puts us, it's shooting yourself in the foot. It puts us right back at square one. And I don't understand what the excuse is now to lose to Fulham. You have a $600 million squad.
I mean, I agree. To be honest with you,
No excuse to lose this game. This is a loss to me. Had we won this weekend, it puts us on track. It puts us exactly where we need to be to make these strides to play European football. What do? We walk away with, in my opinion, this is a loss. Yeah, we took a point. That's all Potter's good for. I'm never expecting him to take 3. But this is a loss to us. Everyone above us took a L that we needed to, except for, I would say, Tottenham. The Tottenham win puts them a little bit more out of reach than where they were. But I'm glad, since y'all lost, I'm glad City lost.
City to win for sure.
Huh?
Technically, statistically, you would have preferred a City win.
Right. Exactly.
You're not hoping to catch City.
No, we need 4th.
They catch Tottenham.
We need 4th, so we needed Tottenham to lose. Newcastle tied. Tottenham, had Tottenham drop points. Fulham ties. Almost everyone above us in the table.
Brentford and Brighton took care of business, but
Brentford and Brighton took care of business this weekend. Liverpool took. Yep. So it's the Fulham jump. We would have been right on par with Brentford. That puts us only 1 point away from Brighton and 6 points out of Tottenham. Had they took a loss, it would put us 3. That's right where we needed to be, and this is a must-win game for us. This is exactly what I was talking about when we came back from the World Cup. This one's a must-win game for us, and it was. And had we took those points from Fulham again, that's 6-point swing on Fulham. Give us the 6 points. That puts us at 39. We are in 5th place, 1 point behind Newcastle. Potter's not going to get us there. Potter is not going to get us there. This proves it. He's not going to get us there. Give him the world. You could field the best 11. He's still going to draw these games because he's clueless. He goes out here without a plan. The players don't have a plan. He's clueless.
So have you looked at the fixture list? You know that you got West Ham, and then it's Dortmund, then it's Champions League.
Right. And I think that's the nail in the coffin.
What were you saying, Lewis?
The news today was there is a shock belief of a switch for Jurgen Klopp to Chelsea. They must be listening to us because we said that a couple of weeks ago.
I'll take Klopp.
Yeah, he's not a bad manager.
He's going to give you 7 good years.
That's great. I'll take Klopp. Oh man, anybody. Again, my hashtag is anybody but Jesse Marsh. No, anybody but. Oh yeah, he's American. Todd Boehly could just throw him in. Anybody but Potter, to be honest with you. It's just he goes into these games clueless. We looked clueless. We looked disjointed. We had chances. We lacked finishing. Again, every ball that went to Havertz, I wished. Every time it happened, I was like, man, I wish this went to Mudryk. Oh man, I wish that would have fell to Mud Dog. Because Havertz tried to chip the keeper, hits the post. Havertz gets a one-on-one with the keeper. What does he do? Shoots it straight at him, right down dead center. All he has to do is tap it side to side. He can't do it. He cannot finish, but once in a blue moon, like your boy, and then he hits a banger like Son, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Kai Havertz, he's a great finisher." And it's like, no.
I could not believe he missed that breakaway. I know it bounced awkwardly or whatever. Come on.
You're a finisher. You are playing the 9 for us. You have to finish that. And I think the substitution. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather have Romelu Lukaku because at least we have something to blame it on. We just lack quality.
So I just see this story. So apparently, Boehly just hired a mental skills specialist for Chelsea. So they hired Gilbert Enoka, the All Blacks manager for leadership. So they brought a rugby guy in, it seems, to consult the team to help create a winning mentality following the arrival of.
We have a winning mentality. We're Chelsea. This guy has no clue.
One of those meetings, those corporate board meetings.
He goes to corporate. Yeah, he has these corporate retreats. Here's a team building. We're going to do trust falls for the next 3 weeks in practice, guys.
I'm just that news story came out today, a couple hours ago.
Meanwhile, Aubameyang is leaked with LAFC. Just another place to go collect a check.
He'll score there though. No disrespect to MLS.
Yeah, he'll score there because he's yeah. He'll score.
I don't know, man. Yachty, he may not even be worried about scoring goals anymore. You know, he's just collecting that check these days.
He bagged his 18 for Arsenal and was like, "Yo, I'm done."
Yeah, but I thought that Fulham did exactly what Fulham do. You know, and it just I thought they could have won it, but I thought y'all should.
We should. It should have been 3-1, maybe. I thought one or two of those. Kepa did a good job.
Are you excited? Do you think Felix makes a difference?
Yes, I'm excited to see Felix and Enzo play together in the midfield.
So it's away to West Ham.
Yes.
On Saturday.
I think Felix, Enzo, and Mud Dog are going to be very fun to watch.
So is there an element of the West Ham game is like a tryout for who's going to play the Champions League game?
Well, the Champions League for us, remember, Potter can only choose like two of those.
Doesn't mean that Mud Dog can't play in the Premier League game, though.
No, Mud Dog is going to be one of it's Mud Dog and Enzo. Yes, because Felix was already registered. It's the other ones like Fofana won't be able to get registered for it.
Did y'all leave Badiashile off?
Yes, and we left Badiashile off.
Yes, because he's been good.
I mean, but like, here's my thing though, man. Like, why are we still playing? Why did we start him on the outside? I understand that. Yeah, he's a winger. He can fly. He's absolutely one of the fastest people on the field. Put him at the 9. Ziyech spent a week in Paris at the airport and comes back and starts the game. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? We had a guy who was literally at the airport eating snacks, thinking he was about to get traded, and he's like, "Oh, nah, man, you're going to start on Friday." I wasn't even at practice last week.
He would have been gone if not for Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the fax machine.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
so
in my opinion, Sterling gets the start.
Do you think it's really come down to? I know you said this a month ago, and I didn't really take it seriously. But if y'all drop this game in Germany, I mean,
he's done.
And if it's like a bad performance and like y'all didn't even show up and y'all take a shellacking straight 3-0, I would be less surprised than I would have been, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago to see him go.
Did you see all of the video of Todd Boehly watching this game?
Yeah, that was great. I enjoyed that.
He's frustrated. It's Potter. Yeah, I think he's starting to figure out that he hired someone who is not competent enough to handle this level of a club. He can handle Brighton.
It's the first time I've seen any like serious from Chelsea saying, because it's not just one clickbait article,
Right.
I've seen like 12 articles where it's like Chelsea may be ready. They're lining up, talking to new managers, and they, if they have to swing the axe, they'll be ready. Kind of.
Zidane would be a breath of fresh air for us.
I don't know, man.
How about Zidane, man?
Y'all watch.
If I had a choice between Jurgen and Zidane, I'm taking Jurgen 10 out of 10 times.
All day long.
10 out of 10 times I'm taking Jurgen.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean Zizou doesn't win. I just think Zizou is not the guy you want right now. You want Zizou after these guys have been kind of up and running and win with them. He knows how to win.
I agree 100%. Yeah. But can he build?
Yeah, I don't know if he does that. I don't think he has that.
7 years, man, you'll get 7 trophies, and then it'll be a shambles.
Then it'll be a shambles again. Yeah, another $1 billion in a January transfer window to fix the club. I'm excited. One thing I will say is I'm excited for the signings. I'm excited for some of these guys to get back healthy. Ben Chilwell's almost here. We saw James back. I'm ready for Cucurella to get off the field. Again, he's just getting. I think he's good.
Is he your Fabio Vieira?
Yes, he's just not a left back, man. He just does. I'm sorry, but there's a body type you have to play defense in the Premier League.
City
He's
appreciates you taking that signage.
yeah, I bet, because that was a wide open, eye-opening for you guys because he is just too small to play left back. Every challenge he went into, it looked like he just got absolutely bodied. And he plays timid. He plays scared. He makes the wrong choice offensively with the ball. Some of his passes don't make it to the target. That whole side of the field, honestly, which honestly I think is Cucurella's fault. You really want to know you really want to know what grinds my gears? Cucurella can't support Mount. He can't get all the offensive pressure. He's not that type. Chilwell can. James can. Like, Mount can't perform unless he's provided. The reason why Mount, that whole side had a bad game, you wonder why Mud Dog had a bad game and he wasn't good. Mount can't supply him if he doesn't have anybody backing him up, and Cucurella can't hold down that side of the wing. He cannot hold down that side of the field
I'm surprised
whatsoever. It does not matter who we're playing. Huh?
I'm surprised that Mount continues to get starts.
Mount will play. It'll be Enzo, Felix, and Mount in the midfield. And then Ziyech needs to hit the bench. That way we can have a holding in either Kova or Conte. They need to make up their minds, and one of them needs to stay healthy. And I would just play 2 up top. Havertz can't play 9. He needs help. Play him side by side. Drop Ziyech. He's dead weight, stuffed shirt. Play Mud Dog and Havertz side by side. Let them work off each other because they're both just as fast. Havertz can keep up with him in a footy. Like, he's not going to beat him in a race, but he's going to be right behind him, say they tear up the field.
I actually like that because now that James is back and Chili's coming back, y'all are going to be up on them wings again. Really,
Gallagher hits the bench
with your wing backs.
That's
what
I'm saying, because James can fill the space. We don't need Gallagher there taking up dead weight, being a stuffed shirt. Mount can actually play the middle of the role because Chilwell can supply that and fly up the field as well.
But then you're going to be so crowded in the center of the midfield.
Well, that was at the beginning of the season. That was what the problem was we were all on top of each other because Mount didn't know where to go because James was filling that space. So was Chile. So Mount would always get shoved into this top right hand.
Shoved in there too.
And again, Ziyech stuffed shirt. I think Havertz needs to hit the bench. I would even play Mud Dog as a single 9 and stuff the midfield. Let Enzo, Felix, Mount play the midfield and just let Mud Dog sit up, play Kova or Conte behind them, and let the defense roll just as it is James Silva. I like Chalobah way better than I like Badia Shield, but that's just me.
Badia Shield's already, I think, been better than Chalobah. But we'll see. There's a lot of time left.
A lot of time left for them. I just felt like we really underplayed this game. Fulham came out, played the exact same game that they played when we played them last time, and we just did not capitalize on anything they gave us. Everything they gave us, Havertz absolutely obliterated it.
It's been the story.
Enzo almost hit a beautiful banger. I was about to cut a backflip on a debut goal, top 90 World Cup finish.
It's been the story of your season, man. But
I know, man, just almost.
The real question, the real team that we should all be supporting. How does Wrexham FC get on to ESPN? Did y'all see that? I actually watched the whole season, the whole FX Welcome to Wrexham show the other day. And
because Ryan Reynolds probably paid him or got the
show kind of trails off in the end, but I enjoyed it. I get why it does because they don't get promoted, but they're doing great this season, and I think I'm gonna watch this game, man. ESPN2, the FA Cup replay. I'm a hard cheering Wrexham, dude, because I think they play Tottenham.
Oh no!
I think they play Tottenham if they win. That'll be, dude. For Wrexham FC in the National League to get to play at the Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah. It's a beautiful stadium.
It's a win, yeah.
That is absolutely, that would be absolutely incredible. And just from watching the documentary, for the people there, man, like they love it. They love it. They absolutely love their
small town clubs, yeah, bro.
Dude, there's some real passion, heart story.
For the badge, yeah.
That if they, man. I'm a fan. Like it got me. I'm a Wrexham fan. I really hope that they can beat Sheffield tomorrow, and we get to see them get to cheer against the Spurs because I do that literally every time they're on the field. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I'm excited for next week, though. I really am. A London rival game and going to West Ham. I think it's a must win, but it's a huge rivalry game. It's going to be fun.
Definitely. We'll get a preview in on the next episode before all that happens. We'll go ahead and end it right there. Thanks for listening, everybody. I've had a good one. Hope you have as well. This has been the For the Badge podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell on. Thanks for listening, and have a good night.